Only give me a chance to respond. Then I will say.
There is the theory, and then there are the practicals.
Yes.
Kidi.
Thank you. One, before I respond to that question, my brother Majus has said that the president has not mentioned Mama Mboga in the last 6 months. I want to put it to him that part of the problem why we are in this economic quagmire, especially at people that are at the base of the pyramid, is because of what happened in 2014-2015, when the government raided the financial sector, the banking sector, took away the money, and therefore those that are in SMEs and in agriculture were left hanging high and dry. So then what then happened is that these people, this segment of the population, were left exposed to predatory lending. And now that is when Fuliza now comes in. You look at the annual percentage rate of Fuliza, and it is crazy. You cannot have a proper functional democracy where lenders, for instance, are giving out money at the rate of 1,800, 1,800% per year. I mean, that is just crazy. But then what led us here was because those people who control banks found it convenient to get into an arrangement with government. So that today, when you talk of, for every 100 shillings collected, the 60 shillings we spend on loan repayment, 50 shillings goes to local banks. That was how bad it was. And now that is what necessitated the need to have the Hustler Fund. What the Hustler Fund has done, of course, some of us are now middle class. 50,000 may not mean anything. 500 shillings may not mean anything. 1,000 shillings does not mean anything, because that does not even fuel my brother Majuisa's car. But there are people out there to whom that 1,000 shillings may make the difference between having a meal on the table and sleeping hungry with children. So I think that even as we disagree with the president, even as we may disagree with the Kenya Kwanza, for those instances where they've made the right call, let us give it to them. The Hustler Fund, in a small way, has helped alleviate and contain the suffering of the people at the base of the pyramid. Of course, that is not a silver bullet, but it is a critical first step. Secondly, is that it must be pointed out that it is helping those people build on their credit history. And when they are able to, repay and borrow and repay, and they build a credit history, they would obtain creditworthiness that then makes them even more attractive to the formal banking system. Something that, because of the decisions made by the previous administration, made it difficult for them to enjoy. So I think I wanted to point that out to my brother.
So Kidi, you're saying give credit where credit is due, pun intended.
Yes, yes. So that let political affiliation not blinden us from facts, from truth, and from just being good Kenyans. Now, diving right into the heart of your question, that does the words of the president match his actions? One, I am a big believer in property rights, again in a constitutional democracy. The only reason why people work hard in any society is the assurance that if you are able to build any fortune, that fortune will be protected by the state. If you read the book called called The Wealth of Nations, in The Wealth of Nations, the central idea is that there is no greater generator of wealth than a system of free enterprise that unleashes the potential of men and women, so that when we can live in a society where your property can be invaded by people, and especially at the instigation of people you disagree with politically, that is a dangerous route that must not be tolerated. And so, indirectly answering your question, does the words of the president match his actions? I will tell you, we have lived in this country for some time, and we've seen instances where overzealous and rogue members of the executive can take advantage and engage in certain things that are extrajudicial, that are extra legal, sometimes behind the president. But in the words of Harry S. Truman, that the buck finally stops the president. So now that the president is back, the president must ensure that if and when there are anyone within his administration that was culpable in the vicious and senseless attack we witnessed at Northlands, in the one that we witnessed, we are being told that was perpetrated at the Kedong farm, let heads roll. That is the only way he would inspire confidence in people who would want to invest in this country. Because you realize that part of the challenge we have had, especially in the last 10 years, has been massive capital hemorrhage. There are people investors, especially foreign investors, who have looked at Kenya, and in comparison with our neighbors in the region, and they have felt that we do not provide an environment that then assures them that they can sit pretty about their investments. What this Maandamano has done, and coupled with the response of the government, is to heighten that anxiety of the investors. So the president must rein in on anyone who is culpable within his administration, and make sure that you do not have to agree with the president to invest in this country. Thank you.
Joseph? And Newton, I know you are